Hello, I'm Marnie Penner, and this is the first video of a 6-video series on how to overcome social anxiety. I'm going to present step by step the exact emotion-based approach that I used to overcome my crippling social anxiety in my 20s and every single anxiety I've had after that, whether they were different social anxieties or any other kind of anxiety. I've used the same approach to help my clients overcome social anxiety and all other types of anxiety, such as panic attacks, postpartum anxiety, generalized anxiety, health anxiety. It works for all types of anxiety. So I'm going to start out by telling you my story of how I overcame my first crippling social anxiety in my 20s. This gave me the framework for how to overcome anxiety, and so this is the story that I'm going to tell. I'm going to then go on to talk about how I believe that social anxiety and all other anxiety is almost always a shame problem. I talk about what shame is and how you can overcome it. Then in video 3, I talk about how you can go from feeling good enough to feeling really great about yourself and embracing your strengths. And then from videos 4, 5, and 6, I'm going to talk about the principles of honesty, love, and acceptance, and how these principles help you keep shame away, prevent shame from coming back, and help you to be totally calm, confident, and present in any social situation or any anxiety-provoking situation you may find yourself in. So thank you for listening, and I really hope you enjoy this video series. I'm going to start out by giving you a little bit of my story. I had always been a really shy child, but when I was 21 years old, suddenly one day I became terrified of my best friend. I didn't understand what was happening to me, and then suddenly within a few days I was terrified of everyone. My teachers, the other students, my friends, my family members, everyone. I went to therapy. I tried 3 different therapists: cognitive behavioral therapy, psychoanalysis, and something else, and none of them worked. In fact, the CBT made it much, much worse. All that obsessing over my symptoms, obsessing over my thoughts, giving me a disorder, making me feel mentally ill, it all just made it much, much worse. I had to drop out of university and go live with my parents. I tried a few medications and they didn't help at all. Perhaps a little bit, but it didn't address the root cause of what had happened to me. I had a full-time job and I was drugging myself all day just to get through the job. I was completely exhausted by the end of the day. And so then I decided that I was going to go to Europe and be a nanny because I wasn't afraid of children. And I was really interested in languages, so I could kind of do those 2 things at the same time. So I was a nanny in 5 different countries in Western Europe. And however, I was still terrified of the parents. I was terrified of the other nannies. I had no friends and no connection other than the children I was looking after. Then finally, when I was 25 years old and I was finishing my university degree, I bought this impulse ticket to go to Hungary. I knew the solution had to be somewhere. It wasn't in therapy, it wasn't in medication, I wasn't finding it anywhere, but it had to be somewhere. So I bought this impulse ticket to go study at a language school and live in a student residence. And interestingly enough, the student residence had 3 students to a room. Right? For someone with social anxiety, that sounds like hell. But it was actually really good because it meant that I was in contact with people all the time. I had all these people coming into my room, and I was forced to interact with people. And what I noticed was that I was actually a nice person and that people liked me. and I made a few friends, and there was one friend who was very special, and he and I really connected, and he helped me find my solution to social anxiety. And this is what he helped me do. Without me knowing what shame was, he helped me free myself from the shame at the root of my social anxiety. He taught me to be as honest as possible about everything that was going on with me, and by being honest, I was able to free myself from this shame. I had been feeling shame that I was nothing like women were supposed to be. My personality, my appearance, my behavior was absolutely nothing like what women were supposed to be. And I felt so ashamed of it that I was worried people were going to reject me, and that made me scared of absolutely everyone. So he helped me free myself from that shame. And he also helped me figure out what the 3 tools to overcoming social anxiety. And they were honesty, as well as love and acceptance. And so what I realized was that love and honesty together were stronger than fear. And so I started applying love and honesty in absolutely every single social situation. And this allowed me to suddenly become very calm and confident and feel strong, and also feel very present in the conversation. You know, it allowed me to get out of my head and into my heart, you know, and it gave me that presence that I needed in order to connect with people again. And so I applied love and honesty in every single social interaction I was in. I would go into the store and I was like, Marnie, love them, love them, love them. And I learned to be as honest as I possibly could about who I am, what I feel, what I think, and show my true self to the world. And this same approach also allowed me to free myself from 3 other social anxieties after that. I also had social anxiety with men, and I used this same approach, and I was able to overcome it. I had social anxiety with other mothers. I used this same approach, and I was able to overcome it, as well as social anxiety about putting myself out on the internet. All 4 of these social anxieties were based on a different form of shame. And by freeing myself from shame and by applying honesty, love, and acceptance, I was able to become present in these social situations and connect with people again. It's that simple. So in this video, I'm going to walk you through this exact same process that I used to free myself from 4 different types of social anxiety, as well as the approach I've been using over the last 3.5 years to help all my clients free themselves from their anxiety.